Hey guys, this is Dr. Drew at Revival Health Center in Clive, and today we want to talk about spring cleaning. It's late April here in Iowa, and we have a lot of people coming in and saying, my allergies, I haven't been breathing very well, and just in reality, as the seasons change and people are thinking about like spring cleaning their home to get ready for the summer, we also think about that for our body too, and trying to treat this as a time to we're out of that winter slump and we're heading towards summer. And some people are focused on like how they look in the summer and what they want to look like. And a big target to that is actually getting your detoxing going, getting your body, getting rid of things been holding on to, all the stress from the holidays and it just being cold and wintry out. Here are some things to be able to do to just focus on, again, where's my health at? What I need to do to get things out as much as we need to add more to it, right? And unfortunately, the term detox, I get a little bit frustrated, just to be really honest with how people talk about it, because it's treated as though either one of two things: either like detoxing isn't real, or detoxing is this thing that is just ever present, and it's like oftentimes a burden for a patient, right? And when I say like the detox isn't real, people are like, oh well, that's what your kidneys and liver are made for, and that's true. That's what they're made for. But they have this huge onslaught of what actually they've been exposed to and where they're at. So we just need to help them keep doing their job. This isn't, when we talk about the word detox, it's not saying that your liver isn't doing enough or functionally not doing enough, but just being able to aid them and say, hey, you're doing great. We're just here to help a little bit more and really kickstart that going into a new season and new changes for the summer. And then the other thing is just that as we talk about this first one, that the average person could be exposed to 2.1 million toxins per day, and we're gonna dig in a little bit into like what they might actually be exposed to. But you hear a number like that, and you see a number like that, and you're like, oh my gosh, like where do I even start, right? And it becomes so cumbersome that it's like it is what it is. I'm fine, and we'll have to just do what we can, and life's too overwhelming. And the idea behind tonight or talking about this is just really giving you some tips and tricks on how to just minimize what we're exposed to. We can't put bubble wrap around ourselves and say, hey, no more life, no more exposure. What we can do is just be able to say, okay, how do we diminish what we are being exposed to with some of the things throughout our day, which is this next slide here, where toxins are found, things that we're exposed to throughout our day, and how can we at least make some changes or some substitutes to see that get better. I'm going to go over all these in detail here in a second. But obviously, like we talk about our food and how we have access to our food. As you look at that picture right there, I mean, number one, everything's packaged up in plastic or cardboard or whatever else it is. And there's so much processing to even get it to us, right, as a consumer. Number two is water. Not just the water that we drink, but what the water is in. They tend to show that just as you are drinking out of bottled water, that's really high in leaching plastics, small little microplastics into our water. Let alone the fact that the water may not be from a great source anyway. Environmental pollutants, that could be a whole thing in itself. Talking about what's in our air, what's in our actual, like, I know we talk about water with what we drink, but what's in the water and the rivers that run by our homes or our area. Things that we're just breathing in. Literally, as you step outside and you see all the pollutants and the smog and everything like that, that is something that we can't say we can't be exposed to it. But what are the things we can do if we are exposed to it, to lessen or minimize it? Cosmetics. As we think about the cosmetic world, it's so frustrating with the what actually is in some of the products and what we're literally putting onto our skin. So the biggest thing I think about with the cosmetics is your skin is actually your body's largest organ, and it is literally a barrier, but it has pores in it. So as you are, taking on the makeup, foundation, even our hairspray and stuff like that, they can oftentimes be laced with little microplastics and just things that are really tough for our body to try and comprehend and saying, what even is this? Again, cleaners. There are plenty of places that we go to where we are always exposed to things are almost too clean, right? They've been sprayed and sprayed and sprayed, and our immune system is so used to that we don't even know what like real exposure is. And then also too with cleaners is that you have your general things that a lot of people are used to, and then there are actually much healthier versions to help your body really be able to function and not take all that on. And the last one is containers. This is very similar to water and the water that we are consuming, but with the containers, really what I think about is like the plastic that's in those containers. If we put food in it, we would then heat that food up, whether it be microwave or whatever else it is, and it can, again, that plastic can then be put into our food that we then consume right away then there too. So again, this seems like a lot. It seems like I have to change everything, and the whole idea is just tips and tricks to be able to make some simple conversions and not make this feel like too much of a stress for you. Exit conventional. So as we think about the conventional thing with some of this is drinking water out of plastic bottles, or things like Lysol or other sprays as far as cleaners, that just has become the norm. But unfortunately, they may not be the best for us. So as I say the word conventional, it's just the things that like we see most often in society, and unfortunately, that's oftentimes the cheaper route. But it's cheaper for a reason. They put a lot of things within that the food or the cleaners or the makeup to make it cheap. And just because it's cheaper doesn't mean it's going to be healthier for us. And so the conventional thought process is just saying like, oh well, this has the best marketing behind it, so it must be the best. But a lot of today is picking out the best things that you can do to not be conventional and really live a healthier life. Because conventional and normal is headaches, brain fog, not sleeping well, low energy, things like that. And what we really want to achieve, and why we even want to talk about this, is really talk about optimal health, improving our function overall for our body, and not putting on such a toxic burden that all those organs have to work so much harder, right? And so as we think about cleaners, again, we talked about this a little bit, but you can, like, we obviously clean our home, we clean our office and everything like that, but we try and choose healthier sprays. I can pull up a new tab here right now and just go over different lawsuits or things that people have been exposed to as far as unhealthy cleaning products, how we don't metabolize that very well, and then it just stays stuck. So they have these forever chemicals that are in, again, it could be dish soap, it could be surface sprays and things like that. And I don't know about you, but I think it's one of the things where as we've made big changes in our life, and the things that we use to clean and to organize, is you now when I walk into a room that just has recently been sprayed down with a really artificial spray or something like that, it just hits me really hard, and I almost feel like I have a sinus infection or a headache just simply from the pressure that's putting on my head to try and compartmentalize what I'm being exposed to. And so there's so many people that we almost become numb to that, because that's just what our whole entity has been too. So some simple changes are moving to a little bit healthier of cleaning products. One, the power within like lemon juice or fresh lemons, vinegar, things like that, baking soda. Like, you can do a lot. There's videos online about how you can clean your stovetop with that, or clean your um, cabinetry and things like that. Like, those can be really effective for that. And a brand that we use a lot at home and trust is doTERRA. They are essential oils based, and then just a lot cleaner, so that when you're actually breathing that in, it's not so toxic for your lungs and for your brain and all of your organs to try and process what that even is. Cosmetics, I'm not going to go in too much to, because that's not maybe my forte. But again, just think about whatever you are putting onto your skin is being absorbed right into your bloodstream. So I tend to lump cosmetics and sunscreen into a similar boat, where what we're putting into our skin is going to go right into our blood. So we want to make sure that what we are putting on is healthy, is free of those really harsh chemicals, and isn't going to be something where we actually regret that later on, because it was really detrimental to our skin, to our organs. And people, it's kind of like that Band-Aid effect, really, where we're doing something in the short term to look better, to achieve a certain goal, and then in the long term it's actually really detrimental to our skin and our hair and our nails and everything else too. So again, choosing healthier products. Some things that we like are Beauty Counter. doTERRA again has some really good stuff. Those are I know oftentimes that like that might be more expensive than going to a supermarket and buying things, but at the same time, you're not going to have to do the unwinding of what that even was on your skin later on, because you have all these other symptoms and your body's not operating very well then too. And then the next two things that we want to go over. One is to think about what we actually cook and heat our food in. So PTFE, and these are laced with, they call them forever chemicals, where literally once you put the chemical into the pot or pan as is shown here, it's in there forever. And they've actually gone on to show that if you were to take a knife or maybe a hard spatula or something like that, and to cut a sliver into the pan here, it would release forever chemicals, and that is always going to be in every single food that you prepare or whatever else it is. So it gets one of those frustrating things where you go out and maybe you buy a grass-fed steak, or you make a really healthy meal, and you are cooking up some, vegetables or whatever else it might be, and then but you still put them in a really toxic container and with not great oils too. You're gonna what you just spent so much time, money, and effort on is actually losing its ability to provide health for your body, simply because of what it's being exposed to as well then too. So anything with the Teflon or the non-stick cookware, really challenging for us to be able to compartmentalize that. I may be a broken record here, but tough on your lungs, your brain, your gut overall. Again, these are just things that we should not be exposed to so often on a daily basis. And that switch that a lot of people like to make are brands like Caraway, where they are able to have healthier, and the other one then too is like skillets, cast iron skillets. But those are some healthier options for you that aren't going to have those forever chemicals that are part of it then too. And this is something that Kelsey and I made a big change to ourselves as well, is what is our food stored in. And it's all glass as far as what we put into our fridge and everything like that. Again, as you put it into plastic, that plastic is going to leach into the food, especially if you're putting it away hot. But either way, I'm not a big fan of cold or hot being put into plastic. We want to be able to keep that as minimal exposure as possible to microplastics and keep that healthy for you. The last thing that we kind of made a change for as far as home was the water system. We personally, we still rent. So we have I go out and actually get big jugs of reverse osmosis water at the local health food store. And we have that at home. And then we have shower filters. So we don't have a whole house water filtration. I want to be very clear on that. But even you can go online and get a really good shower filter. So just at least, again, as you're taking in a shower and you're exposing yourself to all this hot water, let alone the plastic from the thing on the side, the film there, you want to make sure that what you're exposing your skin to, what you're exposing your body to, isn't too much for your body to be able to process. So again, as we go through all of this, it's the shower and the food and everything else. It just seems like all parts of my day got to change. It just takes small steps, right? Maybe it's not ordering an entire water filtration system for your whole house today, but it's going online and seeing what are some really good options for a shower filter. And, there's things on Amazon or even Target where you can get a healthier shower filter to be able to change some of your habits then right away. Even there's some smaller filters too for your sink. Every time you brush your teeth, again, you're exposing yourself to things that ideally you're not going to have, as far as the fluoride in our water and all the other things, lead that is in our general water. We want to be able to mitigate that by having healthier water, and that is when the shower and we brush our teeth, and even the water that we drink then too. So as you kind of go through some of this, it's just kind of making little baby steps. It's going from the plastic Tupperware or whatever you put your food in to be able to put into the fridge, some more of the glass or wooden, like showed in the picture there. It's going out getting the shower filter. It's changing up some of the, you don't have to throw out everything, but the next purchase, get some healthier options for your makeup or sunscreen and things like that. And as we think about some of our overall, like this kind of, even with our body and how we're processing things, the mineral density within our body is an important part of how we process what we're exposed to. Um, and as we deplete our soil and we don't have healthier soil for us to be able to grow our food in, and for the cows to eat, or whatever else is, as far as if you are an omnivore and eating meat too, we want to be able to have healthy soil. So one of my favorite things for that patients really love here is the ion gut support, and I often envision that as literally healthier soil for your body. So you want to be able to have good healthy soil. That's why it matters to buy organic. We talk about like beyond organic, but buying organic produce, knowing your farmer as far as the meat that you buy. One thing that we really like to support is Grandview Beef up in Clarion. They do a great job. They raise their cattle correctly, and it just goes to show, one, it tastes better, but two, you're actually really providing a healthier thing for you and for that cow then too. We can talk about supplements all day long, but one thing we want to go over is like what we actually, I get this so often too, is we go out and we spend extra money and say, hey, we're going to go get this supplement, and they order it online, and they don't know how to look for what ingredient is good or not good, as far as what's in their supplements too. So this, what we always tell our patients is what we carry here in our office, Kelsey and I personally take, and we've put that, maybe the work in or the groundwork in, to be able to make sure that it's of good quality. Because you can order something and then 2 weeks later, that supplement company is getting sued by whatever state agency because there was too much lead in their product or whatever else it is. So we want to make sure that whatever we carry here, we really believe in and we really trust. And I'm going to go over a couple things here, but the thing with this too is just want to keep it as simple and to its natural form. I think about that a lot with like we have its organ synergy. It's desiccated grass-fed bovine organs, so like kidneys and spleen and liver is a big part of it too. That's really close to its natural form. I'm not a huge, personally, I don't eat a lot of raw liver, so to be able to have it in a desiccated form, in a supplement form, I tend to go a lot better with. So we want to have things that are as close to its natural form as possible. And we're talking about detoxing, talking about things that really help our body to, again, we're not trying to say that the liver isn't working or the kidney isn't working, but we just want to help it do its job. And so two things that we really like as far as help with this detox protocol, help the liver and kidney function the most optimal. One is this activated charcoal. So charcoal is literally helping to bind to the toxins and get rid of them. And it is something where, as you see here in the picture, a little handheld thing. We really like that, how simple it is. This one tastes like lemon cream, and the quality of this product is awesome. They do a really good job at Symbiotica as far as where they get their things and where they source everything. And I just really like this, and it's so simple. So as you can see here, it's you do it 6 days on, 1 day off. Not forever, right? But we try and want to jumpstart some of the liver and kidney function there. So again, we love this, and we actually we just have this at home. We have a whole box of them. We'll take that out and use it and be consistent with it. I really enjoy that, and something that I do is I will take it like before I get into a sauna, or maybe even before a workout too. And then, so as I'm sweating, like sweating is your body's source of detoxing, right? You're getting rid of things. So I'll actually do that before I know I'm going to start sweating, and just try and fully get things processed and out, so to speak. And then the other one is liposomal glutathione. And again, here is the box for it, as he has a little package there. Glutathione is your body's most powerful antioxidant that your body creates. It's created in the liver. But when your liver is bogged down by stress of trying to get rid of everything and everything we've been exposed to, it gets a little bit sluggish and can't work to its most optimal. So again, super simple. You take 1 packet a day, 6 days on, 1 day off. Again, so antioxidants are just helping to fight the free radicals in your body, get rid of toxins, and really be able to help your gut improve. Just feel when I personally do it, I feel like I'm like breathing easier, and just have more energy, and not that like boosted caffeine energy where it's like, oh my gosh, I'm almost jittery, but I'm actually moving better and sleeping better to where my energy is at a better level then too. So those are just a couple of tricks and tips that we have as far as what we do. Again, I love the accessibility of the package with Symbiotica. It's super simple, and with that, they're really high quality. For our patients, text Detox Webinar or mention that at your next visit in. And we're doing a discount on the charcoal and glutathione here. We'd love to have you try it. Again, I think it's just one of the things where we're not saying that the liver isn't doing its job, but we just want to help it make sure be able to function to its most optimal. Thanks for joining. This is fun to be able to do stuff like this and keep leveling up people's health. Take care of yourself. Enjoy the change of seasons, and we'll talk soon.